Today's video is about Sea of Thieves. This is a game I played on launch, and while I had an excellent time for a few days, I ultimately dumped it. As my friend Andrew would say, I made one of my famous declarative statements and swore not to play Sea of Thieves again for 2 years. It was fairly bare bones at launch, so I wanted to wait a couple years for more content to come out. Well, 2 years is up, and I've been sailing and I've been pirating for the last 2 weeks, and I have to say, I'm impressed. Now, you can make a video on how Sea of Thieves can prove the live service model can actually work, but today I want to instead use Sea of Thieves to frame the argument that Sea of Thieves uses Emergent Narrative to allow the players to tell incredible stories. And quickly, before we get into it, here's all the annoying, important channel growth crap I have to say. I'm a new YouTuber, so every like and every comment and subscription is so helpful to me. So if you like this content, if you find it helpful or meaningful or exciting or fun, please like, please subscribe. I stream on Twitch and Mixer 3 to 4 days of the week, link in the description below. Join us on stream. So back to the video. So to help us get on the same page as we talk about Emergent Narrative, let's define it. Emergent Narrative is a player-created story or idea within a game that wasn't specifically invented by the game designers. Many times, moments of Emergent Narrative can be more compelling than the moments designed by the storytellers and developers themselves. So here's a question to help us focus. Why do you play a game like Ori and the Will of the Wisps? For me, it's tight controls and beautiful visuals. For others, it might be the soul-crushing opening cinematic in the story. You might have found this section cheesy, but I'm soppy. It made me feel like I was watching the opening sequence to Up, making my tears flow. This game, like its predecessor, Ori and the Blind Forest, uses upgrades, exploration, and narrative to grab players and keep them coming back. Both the design and the narrative are compelling, and together, they tell an unforgettable tale of danger, beauty, and adventure. So what about games like Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, or practically anything from Quantic Dreams? Few will say they're drawn to these games for their tight controls or exciting combat systems. No, people play these games for visceral storytelling or for the opportunity to make impactful decisions that affect the game's characters. Okay, so the common denominator in these games is good storytelling and good writing, so a game needs both to be a good game, right? Well, no, because Minecraft exists. Yeah, Minecraft. Minecraft has a varied world with many interesting biomes, resources, and creatures. People don't play Minecraft probably exclusively for the crafting system or the extremely deep and complex combat system. I played Minecraft because procedural generation for me meant infinite opportunities to explore and infinite little stories I could create. Further, it was a place to be creative with my friends and build extravagant structures together. It was super fun. Before we had survival crafting games everywhere, Minecraft didn't have to do much to hook me. It was the first of its kind. And this is where Emergent Narrative comes into play. Here's one example of that in Minecraft. My friend Justin, or Jarston, and I created a giant log-walled fort in a snowy valley. I don't have the original footage of that, but after spending days building structures within the walls, a fire caught loose while we were out exploring, and on return, half of the fort was razed. Now, the designers at Mojang didn't start the fire as part of a main storyline. They wrote code so that fire exists within Minecraft. It can burn things. They wrote code so that wood would be flammable. It would burn. Our structures were made of wood, so they all burned down. The designers provided systems and mechanics for players to explore, and as a result, I have a unique memory of playing Minecraft with my friend Jarston. P.S. I started the fire because I like server drama, but don't tell Jarston. So with this example in mind, let's go back to Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves has NPCs and voice acting, and sure, there's kind of a main story and lore to sift through, but these NPCs and these quests, they basically just provide rewards, gold, unlockables. Unless I'm terribly mistaken, most people don't play Sea of Thieves to find out what happened to some old pirate skeleton corpse. People play Sea of Thieves for intense PvP ship combat, the thrill of amassing shiploads full of loot, and to have ridiculous over-the-top fun with their friends. And hey, it doesn't hurt that the game looks really good. And here's my point. Sea of Thieves doesn't need a compelling story to entice players to continue pirating. Like Minecraft, Sea of Thieves provides players with a unique world and interesting systems, and that's really all they have to do to keep players hooked. It's kept me hooked. In fact, I'd argue Sea of Thieves is at its best when players are creating the stories, not the game. Here's an example. We spent a few hours working on a Tall Tale quest the other night. For those not in the know, it's basically the storyline in Sea of Thieves. Some parts of it are fun, like solving riddles to find out where a crew dumped loot overboard. Near a rock.
Okay.
They amended course to north by northeast. Some are not so fun. We arrived at a puzzle that was buried in a temple deep beneath an island. We lit some braziers, played memory with some pillars, then roamed the island for half an hour trying to find the next step to solve the puzzle. Finally, we resorted to Google and learned that the puzzle can be bugged for some players. Well, it was bugged for us, so we quit the puzzle, sold off our loot, and went to bed. I suppose in some ways this models Emergent Narrative, because unintended by the developers, I'm dreading having to go back to finish this quest, but ultimately, the linear design of this quest ended up with us having okay fun for a while, then ending the night frustrated. Regardless of the annoying bug, we were still middling on the preceding Tall Tale quest line. After our group talked about it more, we all decided we preferred leveling company rep through quests and seeking out PvP. But does our opinion on the Tall Tale mean Rare can't put together a good story? That question will take a much longer video to attempt to address, so instead let's compare that story with a different story, which I'm calling the greatest heist I've ever been a part of. And we're going to use that to demonstrate Emergent Narrative. So before I tell the story, let's first look at which intentional game designs by Rare affect it. First, Reaper chests. These are valuable chests sold to gain the Bilge Rat doubloons currency. Next, Uncharted Islands. These are islands that don't show up on the map in your ship. Random Encounters. These are attacks from PvE events. And PvP, which, well, you know, it's like killing other players and sinking their ships. So my friend Jovi and I were doing some sloop questing, and as we were sailing, we saw an enemy sloop and we attacked it. After some chasing, we ended up caught by a kraken. The sloop escaped while we fended it off. Eventually we broke free, and we pursued the sloop. We eventually killed him. We sunk his ship and sold all of his loot, only to find one of the chests was a special chest called the Reaper's Chest. This needs to be sold at the Reaper's hideout. Noob mistake. So we decided to sail halfway across the map to find the hideout. As we neared the destination, we noticed, lo and behold, a sloop was chasing us. Yes, same flags, it was him. Low on supplies, we hatched a brilliant plan for me to grab the chest, jump off the ship, and sell it while Jovi circled the hideout. Well, if you're familiar with the game at all and watching this footage, you already see my mistake. We were at the Sea Dog's Tavern Island, not the Reaper's hideout. This was an uncharted location and I misread the map. This allowed our pursuer to catch up to us. Luckily, with Jovi's deft ship sailing skills, I was able to get back onto our ship so we could finish the critical end of our journey to sell the chest. Side by side, we sailed, nearing the hideout, exchanging gunfire, and finally, as the skies turned gray and spoopy, we all arrived at the hideout. We used this opportunity to decimate his ship with the last of our supplies. Ramming, cannonballs, sunk it. It felt great. Victory was ours against the same guy twice in one day. As we made the return to the hideout, I went to grab the Reaper's chest, only to find... Hick! That guy frickin' came here and took our loot after we robbed him. We got owned. Rare didn't write this story. Instead, Rare provided the framework. Rare's story sent us to a forum to find out their quest was bugged. Our story is a tale of revenge and piracy, and, well, pride and foolishness, and I'll never forget it. So the combination of the two, Rare's gameplay and our emergent narrative, tells an exceptional tale. The Reaper's chest was the MacGuffin. No one cares how much it sells for, but it's the centerpiece. Both our destiny and that of the innocent solo slooper were intertwined as main characters and antagonists. The Kraken attack delayed the inevitable outcome of our bloodlust. And finally, the uncharted Sea Dog's Tavern was the catalyst that allowed the solo slooper to catch up to us, and eventually to sell his rightfully earned Reaper's chest. This is why Sea of Thieves is such a good example of game design not getting in the way of the players, and instead letting players make meaningful decisions to tell their own stories. Now, there's nothing wrong with single-player narrative-focused games. I love so many of them. But so many open-world games and multiplayer games just completely miss the opportunity to let players have a big impact in how the story plays out and their own experience. While many open-world games provide opportunities to just scratch the surface of what emergent narrative can do for a game, Sea of Thieves does it much better than most. As always, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I appreciate all your support. Again, join me on Twitch and Mixer. I stream 3 to 4 days a week. Link in the description. Thanks. Bye.